Assalamu alaikum students. You are studying chapter number 14, which is about environmental chemistry, and today we will discuss its last topic, which is ozone depletion and its effects. First of all, let's know what is ozone and what is ozone layer. Ozone is an allotropic form of oxygen consisting of 3 oxygen atoms. Allotropy is the property of some elements in which an element can exist in 2 or more different forms in the same physical state. And oxygen can exist as a diatomic oxygen and triatomic oxygen in gaseous state. And that triatomic oxygen, it is also known as ozone. Now, how ozone is formed? It is formed by the association of an oxygen atom with an oxygen molecule in the mid-stratosphere. You have studied about the layers of atmosphere. Stratosphere is the region which is next to the troposphere and extends up to 50 kilometers. In the upper stratosphere, decomposition of ozone takes place, and in the mid-stratosphere, formation of ozone takes place by the reaction between an oxygen atom and an oxygen molecule. Now, what is ozone layer? Ozone layer is maximum concentration of ozone that lies in the stratosphere region about 25 to 30 kilometers away from the Earth's surface. So, the maximum concentration of ozone is known as ozone layer. Ozone layer is very important as it surrounds the globe and protects Earth like a shield from the harmful UV radiations of sunlight. Shield is something which is used for the protection, and ozone layer protects us from the harmful UV radiations. That's why it is very important for life on Earth. Here is a figure showing ozone layer and depletion of ozone layer. When there is ozone layer, it protects ultraviolet radiations from sun to reach on Earth, and when ozone layer is depleted, then ultraviolet radiations are coming to the Earth. Under normal conditions, ozone concentration, it remains constant, as in the stratosphere, in upper stratosphere, decomposition takes place, and in the mid-stratosphere, formation of ozone takes place. Due to these reactions of formation and decomposition, ozone concentration, it remains constant. But due to man-made activities, this ozone layer started to deplete. This depletion of ozone layer, it was first of all noticed in 1980s over Antarctica and in 1990s over Arctic. Now, due to this ozone depletion, ozone hole is formed. The region in which ozone layer depletes is called as ozone hole. What is the reason of this ozone depletion? The main cause of this depletion of ozone layer is chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons, they are mainly used as refrigerants in air conditioners and refrigerators, and due to these chlorofluorocarbons, free chlorine radical is formed and which may deplete ozone. Now let's see how these reactions takes place. CFCl3, it has chlorine, fluorine and carbon, known as chlorofluorocarbons. When they escape to the stratosphere, UV rays breaks carbon-chlorine bond and produces CFCl2 and chlorine-free radical. Free radical is a species which is having unpaired electron, and they are unstable and highly reactive species. This chlorine-free radical combines with ozone, oxygen is produced and chlorine monoxide is produced. Chlorine monoxide, it is also a free radical unstable species, so it produces oxygen and chlorine free radical. Oxygen radicals, they will combine and they will form oxygen. In this way, a single chlorine free radical which is released by the decomposition of chlorofluorocarbons is capable of destroying many lakhs of ozone molecules. Here are some effects of ozone depletion. Depletion of ozone layer enables UV radiations to reach to the earth, which may cause skin cancer to human beings and to other animals. Secondly, decreased amount of ozone layer or ozone depletion increases infectious diseases. Infectious diseases are fungal, bacterial or viral infections that can spread directly or indirectly from one individual to the other, like malaria, hepatitis, dengue, etc. Depletion of ozone layer also can change life cycles of plants by disrupting the food chains. When food chains are disturbed, then life cycle of plants also be disturbed. Depletion of ozone layer also change the wind pattern, which results in climatic changes. Climatic change is the change in weather patterns which may result in increased heat or other extreme weather conditions such as melting of glaciers, etc. And Asia and Pacific are the most affected regions by this ozone depletion, and it also causes climate-induced migration. Climate-induced migration is the migration in which people are forced to migrate temporarily or permanently from one area to the other due to these climatic changes. Now here is a video to show you ozone depletion.
Have you ever wondered why cricketers paint their faces white? Or why your mother insists that you put on sunscreen lotion before stepping out every summer? The answer is UV rays. Ultraviolet or UV rays are harmful sun rays that can increase the risk of skin cancer, cataract, and harm the immune system. They can also damage terrestrial plant life, single-cell organisms, and aquatic ecosystems. Life on Earth is protected from the UV rays by a layer in the stratosphere called the ozone layer. Ozone is a gas made up of 3 oxygen atoms. This layer is just about 3 to 5 millimeters thick. This thinly spread out gas has been protecting life on the Earth's surface from UV rays for billions of years. Our ozone shield is now being deteriorated due to certain man-made chemicals, primarily chlorofluorocarbons (CFCs) and nitrogen oxides. CFCs are a group of chemically similar gases used in refrigeration systems, air conditioners, aerosols, solvents, and in the production of some types of packaging. Nitrogen oxides are a byproduct of fuel burning, for example, from aircraft exhausts. What is the ozone hole? The ozone hole is not literally a hole, but an area wherein the total ozone amount is less than 220 Dobson units. The ozone hole has steadily grown in size up to 27 million square kilometers. Can we stop the depletion of ozone layer? Yes, we can. All we have to do is to reduce the production of those chemicals that cause the destruction of ozone, like CFCs and nitrogen oxides. So, encourage your parents, relatives and friends to make sure their refrigerators and air conditioners do not have CFCs.
Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to discuss a side information of chapter number 14, which is incineration of waste material causes air pollution. Let's see what is incineration. Incineration is a waste treatment process and it is defined as burning of solid waste at high temperature, which is about 650 Celsius to 1100 Celsius in incinerators. Incinerator is a furnace used for burning waste. Furnace is a type of oven, an enclosed structure in which materials can be heated to a very high temperature. And you know, here the temperature is 650 Celsius to 1100 Celsius. Now the process of incineration, it has different advantages and disadvantages. Now let's see these. Incinerators, they reduce the solid mass of the original waste by 80 to 85%. Means waste is reduced to a large extent. Now disadvantage, incinerators, they convert the waste materials into ash, flue gas and heat. Ash is a solid remain of fire. It is non-aqueous, non-gaseous residue that remains when something is burnt. It is an air pollutant as well as it can cause different diseases like asthma, lung diseases and even cancer. Flue gas is called as flue because it go out to the atmosphere by a pipe from furnace or incinerators and that pipe is called as flue. Flue gas includes dioxins, furanes, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, hydrochloric acid and particulate matter. Sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide and hydrochloric acid, they all are air pollutants. Now let's see what are dioxins, furanes and particulate matter. Dioxins are also chemical compounds that contain carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and chlorine, and they are byproduct of different chemical reactions. Furanes, as you know, they are heterocyclic organic compounds. Dioxins and furanes, they are environmental pollutants. They are not manufactured intentionally, but they are created when some chemical reactions takes place, especially when burning of solid waste is carried out. And particulate matter contain microscopic solid or liquid droplets that are so small that they can be inhaled and cause serious health problems. They can get into lungs and may enter into bloodstreams. Dust, salt particles and sulfuric acid droplets are examples of particulate matter. Now here is a video which will further explains the process of incineration.
In this video, we're going to consider the advantages and the disadvantages to waste incineration. What do you think are the advantages of burning waste instead of committing it to landfill? Pause the video and continue when you have an idea or some ideas. If the waste is not burned, then it is likely to end up in a landfill site, which is considered to be the least environmentally friendly option. Incineration could result in a reduction in waste volume of around 90%, and this could be particularly important for small cities where space is scarce and landfill is not an option. Odours and rodents that are present in other methods are not a problem when using incineration as a garbage disposal method. Nearly all of the waste that is burned could be used to generate electricity in what is called energy from waste schemes, where households and industries could benefit from the electricity or heat produced. The electricity generated could help to pay for the start-up cost of the incinerator. Additionally, the steam produced from incineration presents itself as a cost-saving energy source if recycled. Ash produced from these incinerators could be used in the construction and road building industries. In addition, metals could be extracted from the ash, and they could also be used in steel industries. The key advantage, however, is that the production of electricity and thermal energy from waste enables us to conserve conventional sources of energy, such as fossil fuels. Now, what about the disadvantages of incineration? Again, pause the video and think about what these could be. Resume when you have an idea or some ideas. The main disadvantage surrounds potential pollutants found in the ash left in the incinerator and those that could be emitted from the chimney. These include dioxins, acid gases, nitrogen oxide, heavy metals and particulates. As you may have heard from other videos, these are airborne particles which are small enough to get into the lungs of humans. They cause and aggravate respiratory problems such as asthma. However, it is the dioxins resulting from incomplete combustion contained in the gases from the chimneys that attract the most concern. This is because they are suspected of causing cancer. In addition, these emissions could be distributed through the food chains and accumulate over a long period of time, impacting on both ecosystems and human health. As a result, many people are opposed to having incinerators built in or near their communities. Another disadvantage is the initial start-up cost to build a waste incinerator for the production of electricity, and may not be seen as a viable alternative, where cheaper waste disposal methods exist. Once built, the maintenance of the machinery could be costly. The biggest disadvantage, however, is that if waste is incinerated without first being sorted, this means we are incinerating waste that could have been recycled. So, in summary, incineration of waste presents numerous advantages. 1. The energy is used to heat or to produce electricity for homes and industry. 2. This method reduces the need for fossil fuel consumption. 3. The ash produced can be recycled for metals used in the steel industry. And finally, 4. This method reduces the volume of waste produced. There are also disadvantages. 1. Incinerators are expensive to build and maintain. 2. Pollutants in the ash and emissions from incinerators are harmful to health and ecosystems. And finally, 3. Waste that could be recycled will instead be incinerated if not properly sorted.